All right. Hey, we're live. Kenya,
Right.
let's
Of
get
course.
this. Let's get it.
The
What's
fun.
up? What's up? What's up, Kenya? How we doing this
Oh,
week?
nothing crazy. Man, my life, well, my life's always crazy, but then I always say nothing crazy. So,
Yeah. I think that's I think that, yeah, I'm the same way. Welcome, Tennessee listeners, Tennessee,
welcome.
USA. I think our following is getting bigger. It's getting
I
bigger.
hope so.
I checked the other day, and I think we had like 25 subscribers. We're getting there.
Okay. Yeah. So we got to keep it up. We can't start getting boring, I guess.
Wow, we got listen. We got to get it. We got to get this thing cranking and get it. I tell you what, we need to do something like, okay, let's see it. Let's see. We got to make little milestones. All these YouTube people do this, so let's make little milestones. At our 100th,
Okay.
okay, at our
Yeah.
100th subscriber,
Okay.
let's. I'll give away.
No pressure. You're thinking of this on the spot right now.
Yeah, we'll do something special for the 100th subscriber. So we'll know that next week. I don't think we'll hit 100
Yeah.
until then, but we got it. Yeah.
Um,
So here, yeah, for you people that are out there listening, we're going live as we every week. I would say I would give them a Young Guns Yeti, but I don't know if that's I don't know how many. That's my wrestling club, by the way.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know how many Young Guns fans we'd have here. Everybody's a Young Guns fan.
Well, maybe we could take a
Oh,
poll, figure out what our 100th winner would want.
that's true.
Our
That's actually
100th.
that might be a good idea. So anybody that's listening right now, which could be maybe two people or five or who knows.
Yeah. They
Maybe
can comment. They can
yeah,
make
post a comment, smash that like
yeah.
button. That's what they say smash
Yeah.
that subscribe
Smash
button.
it.
What do they do?
Shameless plug.
Yeah, that's it. So Kenya, what's going on in your world? I know
Uh,
you like just got into what therapy school, right? Physical therapy school.
yeah, kind of physical therapy school, which is good news for multiple reasons. But one reason is I'll be back in Tennessee. So,
That's what's
yeah,
up.
my parents are happy about it. I don't know about anybody else yet.
Tennessee
But
Wrestling's happy about it. We
yeah,
like that. We
so
like that.
I'm happy to be back.
We just got to keep you, here because this is like my grand plan. Whoever I got a hold of for that physical therapy admission or you
Yeah.
back here to the Knoxville area, and
Uh-huh.
then eventually maybe get something worked out here in Middle Tennessee to where maybe I'm going to need like a Young Guns, female coach.
Yeah.
As soon as we start a program here, and yeah, I think it's all part of my grand scheme of my grand plan here.
Yeah. Yeah. You put in a little under the table letter for me.
That's it right there.
Get back in town.
When you get to
Yeah.
be my age, you start to get my age, you have like, you start knowing people like just randomly throughout, the 50 years I've been on this
I
earth.
said that to you last week. I was like, so many people, and you were like, well, that's because I'm old.
Yes. It's because I'm old. I got gray hair. Come on.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But that's good. That's exciting though.
Yeah, it's fun. This upcoming week, I'm helping with like a developmental camp at the Olympic Training Center, which is a cool part
Oh,
about me being here. So that'd
well,
be fun for me to be around some wrestling and some elite wrestlers and bring it back home to Tennessee whenever I come.
yeah, because that's not just like any type of camp. That's at the Olympic Training Center. So
Yeah,
we like it. That's
yeah,
good.
it'd be fun. What's going on in the life of Mike Hatcher?
Man, a lot I got a lot of stuff in my other business. And obviously, getting this podcast tightened up, we got a lot of good things going on. Tennessee Wrestling's busy right now, so
Good thing.
love doing that. We're little shout out for a little event we have going on in December. I've been part of it's just myself and a guy named Frank Papalizio, who's really big in the wrestling world as far as from an event production standpoint, and then of course the people at MBA, Montgomery Bell Academy, the whole Simpson clan over there. We are bringing the National Collegiate Duels to Middle Tennessee
Oh,
here
that's
December 18th and 19th of December. Yes,
okay.
before Christmas. So it was in New Orleans last year, and Frank wanted to move it. Someone know I've always since I moved to Middle Tennessee wanted to do something, get
Mm-hmm.
some college teams here,
Yeah.
wrestling here to just get some exposure for our state. And
Yeah.
he got a hold of me and said, "Hey, you want to do the National Collegiate Duels there?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really big deal.
Why not?"
That's
So
a really big deal.
yeah, so we have NC State, Ohio State, Iowa State, Northern Iowa, Cornell, Lock Haven, Little Rock, and Pittsburgh, all coming in.
Wow.
2-day dual tournament.
That's so
December
cool.
18th and 19th at Montgomery Bell Academy.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I think it's cool also for like people, like you said, exposure in our state, so kids can go to these tournaments and be like, "Well, that could be me one day." Otherwise,
Oh
they might
yeah,
never even pay attention.
yeah. And from a
Yeah.
Tennessee USA wrestling side, we actually had our board meeting last week,
Hmm.
and we are going to do our Who's Number One youth tournament. which will be 8U through the old school boy, 14U, who's number one tournament the day before that starts on the Sunday. So Sunday we'll do that.
Yeah, everyone will be
one tournament. It's going to be it's here in Middle Tennessee. It'll be a big tournament on Sunday. Then that way people can stay and watch the college wrestling next 2 days.
Yeah.
So exciting times.
Yeah, sounds like someone thought that through. That'll be fun.
Yeah, hey, listen, I didn't raise no fool, I wish I could say it's all me. I trust me, I have a really, really, really good group of people around me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So exciting things happen in Tennessee. And speaking of which, up just north of us last week.
Yeah.
We had some freaking animals, some girls go up there and freaking show them what's up. I guess. Huh? What happened on the girl side? War of the Roses.
Yeah, the War of the Roses tournament. I thought it was just, first of all, so cool that so many girls from the state of Tennessee went to this tournament. I always relate it back to, I sound like such an old soul. I always relate it back to my days. But when I went to this tournament.
You're right. You wrestled in this one.
This was the first time I actually ever wrestled a female opponent before I went to high school. And I think there was me and maybe like 2 other girls from the state that were at that tournament. Yeah. And
you and Riley Sturgill, right? She was probably wrestling when she was like 2 years old.
Oh my goodness. No. No, Riley wasn't even wrestling yet.
I know.
Playing your other sport. Yeah. I was still pretty young.
Wow.
But this past weekend we had well over 40 girls in this tournament representing the tournament. I wish I should have looked up how many girls were in the tournament altogether. But the fact that we sent 40 girls, we took 3 dual teams, all of which performed very well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, night and day difference it just shows how well and how big like women's wrestling is. Girls wrestling is growing in the state of Tennessee. Girls, women.
Yeah, they're young women's wrestling.
Yeah. So I talked to some of the people that were at that tournament, and it seemed like, wrestling aside, that it was just a heck of a tournament to endure. Like, they were wrestling for close to 12 hours.
Might as well call that thing the Iron Woman tournament. From what
the Iron Woman.
Because
it was a war. Yeah, War of the Roses. That's appropriate.
War of the Roses, my butt. War is more like they were like there till like 3 a.m. or something like that, wrestling in 98-degree weather. And
yeah, there was like apparently no food for them to eat. The tournament was lasting. It sounded like they were literally like in the bunker of some type of war or something. But we had great results. All 3 of our dual teams, did good. I think the highest placing team that we sent took 10th. And again, I wish I knew how many teams were there, but there was over 40 dual teams in the tournament. So yeah, they had a really, really great showing.
We had some girls go undefeated.
We had some girls go undefeated. Quite a few. Oh, I wish I could list them here. I know we'll get to hear from at least 2 of them today.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we had the girls that went undefeated. We had Delilah Queen, who, spoiler, we'll get to speak to her. We had Bella Harris, Piper Fowler, unsurprising, and Ella Murphy were the 4 athletes who went undefeated both in the individual tournament, and they went undefeated in like the dual portion of the tournament. So that's just impressive that they were wrestling girls from all over the state, and no matter who stepped up to the line, whether it be in a dual environment or an individual in the individual brackets, they were able to be pretty dominant on the mat. There were so many other girls, even young girls. From my understanding,
so with the young girls, I know that we were talking about this. They were wrestling like their own age group, like a 14U, and then wrestling high school girls later or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, from my understanding. So we had some like 14U girls wrestle, 14U, and have their own individual bracket, and then they stepped up and wrestled in the dual tournament. But it was just all like they were all lumped in one group. So we had like 14-year-old girls wrestling girls in high school, probably soon to go off into college.
Man.
Yeah, I thought that was just so brave of them to be able to step up. One of the girls that we noted was Easton, who was 14U, dominated her bracket. She ended up taking 2nd. But just to be able to make it into the finals in a big tournament like that, and then afterwards, like, still step up and decide to wrestle in a duel with all these high schoolers. I mean, I would have been shaking in my little singlet at 14 years old.
But listen, at some point in time, I was hoping actually, because I just walked out of my practice, and Easton comes to my practice. She's Clarksville / Young Guns girl.
Oh, awesome.
Her and her little brother Jake, they come down often enough, and it just, I mean, just not only amazing kids, but they're just, I mean, their whole families. I mean, they're just amazing people. And if you know Easton and Jake would do the same thing, because he's a little terror, but it is no surprise, boy, she is tough. She's really tough. I mean, we'll be hoping to get her on the podcast, but we'll have plenty of opportunities with her.
It's gonna be, I have no doubt.
This ain't the last time she's going to do something good. Trust me.
Yeah. Sooner or later. It'll be fun.
Yeah. But we have some guests, though. We have some guests coming up here, and I think we have somebody in the waiting room. You ready to talk to her, Kenya?
I'm ready to bring her on.
I think you're probably ready for these two female guests we have.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Y'all got a little history. Got some history going on.
This worked perfect for me the first few weeks, and I get to have like legitimate friends on here, pretty much. So
I can't wait. All right. Well, listen, we almost got to get me off of here, because I'll let Delilah in here, and then you two can just chop it up and just get me off.
That'll be good. Hello.
Oh, look at this. Whoa, we got here.
Hi, Delilah.
Hi, Kenya.
Thanks for joining us on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Have you ever done something like this before?
No.
No.
This is new.
Fun. We're just hanging out. It's all around.
Well, I'm Mike Hatcher. I'm a state chairman. I don't think I've met you before.
Yeah. I guess maybe not.
I've seen you before.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Well, this is Mike. This is
now we actually formally meet now, so that's good.
Yeah. This is the man behind the magic, Delilah, of our podcasts and so many other things.
The man behind anything, I don't think.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the tournament that you just wrestled in.
It was so long.
It was so long. I think that would probably be your first response. Yeah. Did I describe it pretty well? You were there, so we've got to hear from you about how nasty and grueling it actually was.
Oh, gosh. I think the first day was like 15 hours. And
oh, man, I lowballed you. I said 12.
long. And it was so hot. I was sweating so bad. I was slipping all over the place. And they had like turf, like that rubber turf, all over the mats.
Oh my goodness!
It was bad.
Oh, like the little pebble. It was like on an artificial turf field, and the little pebble turf things were on the mats.
Yeah.
That was for traction, though, Delilah.
Yeah, did it help?
They knew it was going to be sweaty in there, so that was for traction, I think, right? No. It didn't work, huh?
It might have made things just worse. Anyways, I definitely jumped the gun. And Delilah, I don't know if everyone they should, but I don't know if everyone listening knows who you are and what you've done. So I'd like to just introduce Delilah Queen, the one and only. We've got her on here because of her stellar performance this past weekend at War of the Roses. But some other things about Delilah is that she, as a freshman, was state champ. True? Or is this your freshman year?
This is my freshman
year. This is your freshman year. So you won state for middle school last year.
Yes.
So she won state tournament for middle school last year. And she's going to be a freshman. Where are you going to be where are you starting your freshman year at?
Knoxville Catholic.
At Knoxville Catholic. So she'll be a freshman at Knoxville Catholic. I've got some roots down at Knoxville Catholic too. She's undefeated at Tulsa National Duels this past year, 6th in Reno Worlds. And obviously, most recently, she was one of the 4 or 5 undefeated girls we had at War of the Roses this past weekend. So you are well and deserving of being on this podcast. So we're so excited to have you and get to just hear a little bit about you and have some fun. Tell us about your individual tournament your individual bracket at the tournament this past weekend. Were you wrestling any girls that you wrestled before, maybe at some of these national tournaments, or was it completely like new people in your bracket that you've never seen?
Well, for individuals, I wrestled 14U, and I had like a lot. I had like barely any people because a lot of people had like dropped out from the day before at duels.
Because it was such a brutal day.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So for individuals, I only had like 3 matches.
Okay.
But they were fast.
Yeah. You could take your own horn in this race.
It was super different than like high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like size-wise and just like strength.
Sure.
It's like a lot different.
Yeah. So you being able to like be in the high school room the past few months has definitely like helped you when it comes to wrestling these 14-year girls now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
So
us.
plus, it was super hot in there, Delilah. Right? You said, "Listen, no, this ain't lasting long. I'm gonna get out of here." Right?
In and out.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Way too hot in this gym to be wrestling, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. That ain't happening.
Yeah. I guess I know. I'll let you tell us. I'll let you say the name. You and I have a common denominator as far as wrestling goes. It's a person, maybe?
Junior?
Yeah, Junior Hernandez. So Delilah trains with the coach that gave me my first pair of wrestling shoes when I was 7 years old and trained me all the way until I, pretty much hung up my wrestling shoes this past year. So tell me, was Junior the person who did most of like the prep work?
Hey, now listen, before she starts getting into this, don't be leaving me out of this now. What's my name? Skip? I know Junior. I mean, listen,
yeah, we have this.
You ain't talking, foreign language to me. I know Junior. I've known Junior for years. So I'm going to be, I can too attest to Junior, not only his coaching abilities, but he's just a great person.
He's a great person.
He's awesome.
Yeah, that guy started out as my coach, but he's like more than family now. So
yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. Go ahead, Delilah. I don't mean to jump in there. I just didn't want y'all leave me.
He's like, hey, I'm cool too. But I was going to ask you if Junior was the one who helped you kind of prep for this tournament, or have you had to be like more in the Catholic with your high school team now, or how's it been different in the past few months that you're in high school now?
Junior lives close to Catholic.
Okay.
So I'm with Junior like probably a lot of the times in the wrestling room.
Mm-hmm.
He comes and he works with me. But we did like these practices over the weekend, like in preparation for War of the Roses. They were like 3 hours long.
Ooh.
And they were like probably the best practices I've ever had.
What made them so good? I have never had a 3-hour practice that I would describe as wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, half of it was like cutting weight, but it was also just like getting back into folk style from freestyle, and like working on technique, because weren't just prepping for War of the Roses, we're also prepping for Super 32.
Yeah, that is a pretty big transition. So have you enjoyed being able to be in the high school room with all these new people? Yeah, it's fun to be able to beat up other people other than Junior, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to tell us just about this past weekend and about your training so far this school year? It's okay if no.
Nothing really. I'm just excited for this school season to happen.
Yeah, man. Well, we're excited to see you for sure. Mike and I aren't the only ones, but there's a lot of people who are highly anticipating getting to see you kick butt in the high school scene.
That's it. Very, very. Anticipating Delilah's initial go at it
debut.
Here.
Yeah, it's like your high school debut. You probably didn't know that, huh? That people are looking out for you and waiting to see you do awesome.
Well, I'm better, so.
Good. All right, Delilah. Well, before we leave here, we want to ask you a few like random, silly, goofy questions just to get to know you outside of wrestling. Well, one's kind of in wrestling, but I wanted to ask you if you had a favorite pair of wrestling shoes.
I do.
You do? Okay, tell me about your favorite pair of wrestling shoes.
My favorite pair of wrestling shoes are the Italian Stallions from Rudis, and they're yellow, which is my favorite color.
Okay.
And they're almost dead, but I'm never taking them.
You know who the Italian Stallion nickname comes after? Do you know that one? I'm curious if you know this.
Rocky?
Okay. All right. Good.
Good. Don't say it with a question mark at the end. You do.
I mean, I didn't know if that was I don't know if that's like my era and you didn't really know where that came from or what. So dang, Italian Stallion wrestling shoes. That's cool.
Yeah. So what would happen if you lost your Italian Stallions? Would you be wrestling that day or no?
I'd probably wrestle, but I wouldn't wrestle as good.
Yeah. I bet you could wrestle just a little if you were barefoot, probably.
This is me with them on. This is me without them.
So that's the secret weapon. Huh? You've exposed it. All right. Well, I think we got time for one more. We got time for one more. Yeah, okay. I want to ask if you're going to be exposing yourself here. Do you have any irrational fears outside of wrestling in life? Do you have anything like super silly that you're kind of scared of?
My biggest fear, honestly, is my leg being out straight like this and my knee like
Delilah, this is crazy because this is also my irrational fear. I've had dreams of that happening to me.
I'm so scared of it. When we do like partner stretches and they like string your leg and push it, like I won't let them do it.
You won't let them do
I'm
it.
scared.
Oh man. Do you think about this in your daily life or only when you're in the wrestling room?
I think about it everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Well, great. Now I'm going to start thinking about it, ladies. Jeez.
Yeah, I hope you don't have
And my knees aren't nearly as good as yours. I don't know. Can you get?
I hope they're better than mine.
Yeah. All right. Yours, Delilah, ladies.
All right. Well, thanks for goofing off with us and being silly, Delilah. It was so fun to have you, man. You're kicking butt. It's fun to watch you, and we're excited to keep up. I have no doubt we'll have you back on our podcast soon.
No question.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Delilah, thanks so much for popping in here. Bye now.
Bye.
Man, what a cool girl.
Aw, she's so sweet.
Dang, ninth grader.
Ninth grader. Yeah, upcoming freshman.
Man, it's crazy like how good these kids are getting so quick, you know?
I agree with you. Yeah, I got to help Delilah a little bit when she was in middle school, just for a day or two when I was in Knoxville. And
really?
Yeah, and whenever you're in a room of wrestlers, there's whether we admit it or not, there's always a few that catch your eye that you're like, man, there's gonna be something. So.
And that was her, huh?
Yeah, that was her.
Wow. Well, I know our next guest. I think she's been around a little while. She's been a staple in a lot of these teams and a lot of these national teams. We're looking forward to talking to her. So let's get her in here right now.
Let's get her in.
Get her in here right now. I've actually had her on the podcast before.
Oh, no way. No fair. I wasn't here.
Okay, Ella. He had the same background last time I interviewed you.
Yeah, I'm scared that's gonna fall off.
Yeah. What's up, Ella?
Hey, Ella.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Everybody, this is Ella Murphy, another person that I go way back with. She wrestles at my alma mater, Hardin Valley Academy. You'll graduate this year, so this is her senior year. Super 32 champion this year. This is her second time winning War of the Roses, so we'll get to talk a little bit about this tournament. Maybe later you can maybe compare the two for us a little bit. But she is also a folk style national champion. She wrestled at Fargo and took 6th place. She is a preseason national champ. I mean, she's been kicking butt left and right ever since she stepped on the scene. You kind of came out of nowhere and started kicking butt as soon as you stepped on the scene. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your perspective on the tournament. I'm sure you heard our intro and what Delilah had to say about it, but
I did.
What did you say?
I said I did. I did.
Yeah, would you agree with Delilah that it was just as brutal?
Yes, it was hot. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It was super hot. I did not realize how hot it was until I was just like, I got off the mat and I was drenched. Someone sent me to this room off to the side and it was cold, and I finally dried off. As soon as I walked back out, I felt like what everyone else was feeling. It was miserable. The black covered you, and cuts in my knees from them. Like,
oh man,
burned my leg black.
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever you competed in this tournament last year, was it the same situation or is it completely different?
No, we were in a different arena, and that one's a lot bigger. There's more bathrooms. There's a lot more room. There's air conditioning. There's windows, so you know what time of day it is.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any windows.
You weren't in a jail. You're locked up in prison, it sounds like.
No, I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know.
I think that might have been part of their grand plan when they looked at this tournament and started laying it out. Like, okay, we might not get out until like 3 a.m, so let's keep these windows closed. Let's keep the sunlight out. Let's have no idea what time it is. We won't serve any food after a certain time. And I think that was part of the plan, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Well, tell us. Delilah was saying that some of her opponents that were in her bracket ended up drawing out of the tournament because the first day was so brutal. Did you have a pretty big bracket that you wrestled through, or did the same thing happen to you?
The same thing happened to me. I'm not sure if as many people pulled out and if they were for the same reasons. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the next day, when I was going to bed that night, I was thinking I would not mind if I just didn't have to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, but wasn't an option, huh?
It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you get to wrestle any opponents that you've like had some history with or wrestled in the past, or was everyone in your bracket like kind of new to you?
I did get to wrestle somebody that at Fargo I was not feeling very well.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going backwards through the bracket,
Right.
I showed up to this one girl that I should not have lost to, and I did lose, but I got to beat her this past weekend.
Nice. Nothing like the taste of redemption, huh?
And her sister, which was
Oh, it's personal. This sounds personal now.
oh yeah, she was in the background and she was like laughing at her sister, telling her to get up because she thought the same thing, was like she was just gonna beat me up later. And then her and her sister lasted around the same time.
Wow, that's also how did you win both matches?
Her sister, I'm pretty sure I just shot on her and then she tried to crawl out of bounds. I drug her back in. And I think I got her with a chicken wing. And then I got her with a chicken wing as well.
Okay. Yeah, those are familiar to me.
That must be a Hardin Valley thing, right?
Is it Hardin Valley thing, or is it once again
Did you?
Junior.
It's a Junior Hernandez thing, and it worked. He's doing something. He's doing a lot of things right, huh? Yeah,
That's awesome. Hey, we're getting up. By the way, here we got some people tuning in, and we got our first comments coming in. Can you?
Oh,
Shoot.
I can see this.
Yeah, get in there. Shoot.
Okay.
Fun. We got a lot of praise on Junior Hernandez, other than the two of you, and the three, I should say.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
who couldn't?
Love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's cool that you, me, Delilah, and we'll include Mike this time. We'll include Hatch.
There we go.
We all have the common denominator of getting for Junior Hernandez. But outside of this past weekend, tell us a little bit about what's coming and what's new for you in wrestling. This is your senior year, so it's like kind of a big transition time. What are you looking forward to in the future? Like, just tell us what's going on.
Well, I'm looking at colleges. That is a very stressful thing to be looking at.
Oh, isn't it? Yes.
So many colleges.
Where are you looking, Ella? What's the plan?
I have to relook because I was only looking at places that offered architecture, but now I realize that's pretty much not an option. So I'm going to have to re-go through all of them. But Iowa.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Go big or go home.
They have 5 art buildings, and that is something that I would love to be near.
Hey, listen, don't be telling me my business, Ella. That's my alma mater.
Yeah, did you know that?
Listen, I don't think. Let's just end the list right there. Okay, we just end the list right there. We're good. Iowa, that's good.
My mom wouldn't let me end the list right there.
That is wise to keep your door.
You gotta take her to a wrestling match, and then it's game over.
Oh, she'll change her mind in a heartbeat.
Yeah, game over. Then she'll end the list for you.
Oh, that'd be super cool. It's cool that you're getting to. I mean, there wasn't too long ago where if you were a female and wanted to wrestle in college, you went to like one of 5 or 6 programs. But now you're getting to be able to, kind of choose based off of what academic program you want, like where in the country you want to live. So that's awesome that you're thinking about all these things and that you get to choose between them.
Yeah, honestly, and this is just since you're in college, Kenny. Just wait. What I'm really excited about is I'm really excited on what the landscape's going to look like in 5 years and then 10 years.
I don't think we can.
Opportunities are out there. They're going to be out there for these young ladies. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I think this is first year too. So like they're fresh.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. This will be their inaugural program.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, can we goof off with you for a second? And I know that you're a silly person. You like silly questions. Well, my first question, a little bit less silly, but we're going to stick to wrestling a little bit. Tell me your absolute go-to favorite takedown. Like if you had to close your eyes and take somebody down, like what are you going for?
I love the snap down because I just like hitting hearing their head hit the ground.
That is the most Ella Murphy response I've ever heard.
Oh, man. Woo!
That is funny. I must not be mean enough because I don't think I've ever heard anyone's head hit the ground.
She'll pull out bunches. The very first podcast we ever had, this is just throwing back a little. Oh, this was like a year and a half ago. My very first guest on was Cody Chittum, and he didn't hold back. I just like to break people and make them cry, basically. And now we got Ella.
And now we have Ella. Yeah.
I mean, I
Love it.
What did you say, Ella?
I said I don't mind a couple tears.
Yeah, I may or may not have used to get rewarded for causing my opponents to shed tears in my matches.
Oh, dang.
But it's not the worst thing.
See, and here I thought that I had this like sweet co-host, such a nice person. She was so well spoken, so mature for like her. Now I got this savage over here, and as my co-host that likes to make people cry.
Hey,
Jeez.
I didn't say how many times I actually earned my reward, but it was offered.
I get it. You don't win national championships by being nice. That's for sure. So
there's a balance. Okay, last question, Ella, before you leave. This one's super silly, but I just know because I know you that you're gonna have a great response, probably already prepared. Are you more afraid of the ocean or of space?
Ooh.
I do not like either. But space, there's no coming back. Like, at least if you're in the ocean, you might be able to find a fish or something, survive a day. Yeah. Someone find you.
Maybe. That's true. This is good logic.
You're gone.
Yeah, that's good logic, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you, Kenya? What would you say there?
I would have thought.
I'm curious about this one because I'm still up in the air myself with this.
I'm assuming that if I'm in space, there was like a lot of money and intentionality involved to send me there. So I'm hoping they would be able to get me back.
That's true.
Whereas getting lost in the ocean, like they might not even know that you're lost until you're almost dead. But if we're talking about like the depths of the ocean or like the depths of space, like what is out there?
Yeah.
Man, I'm scared of both.
Yeah.
I'm scared of both. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm like a big beach guy, but I don't really go in the water very much. I'm not a very good swimmer. I don't like sharks. I don't like, any stuff. I don't know. I really don't know anything about space. Maybe I'll check that out one of these times. I'm supposed to go to Columbia here at the beginning of November. Maybe I'll go to Mars instead.
That's what I was going to say, or go to Mars after.
Yeah, maybe I'll check that out instead and see what compared to. Good deal.
All right.
Awesome. Ella, got anything else?
I don't think so, except like emphasizing that tournament was hot.
Yeah, you guys endured a lot more than some tough wrestling matches this past weekend.
No doubt. Well, what's next on your agenda? What's the next tournament? What you got going?
Super 32.
32. That's good. I like hearing it. That's her and Delilah said the same, right?
Yeah.
And
probably on the same schedule.
From the guys that we have on here, we've seen the same, and that's just that I love hearing common occurrences there when we have, our kids from from Tennessee going and seeking out this great competition. So Ella's been doing this, but she's dang,
all over. Yeah.
Been doing this for years, getting it for years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, Ella. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for sharing with us about this past weekend.
Thank you for inviting me.
Ella, appreciate you. Thank you. Best of luck.
Bye.
Great girl. She's awesome. Yeah, she's cool. Yeah, and that two great guests there. I mean, we actually had a little tough time choosing these two guys.
Oh, my heart was torn. This was the first time you put the ball in my court, and you're like, okay, you pick our two athletes.
Yeah.
I was like, this is too hard.
This is a great thing about being a co-host. I finally I got a co-host, and it's so nice because if I'm saddled with deciding between 5-7 girls or whatever, then I've got to choose one. I'm like, shoot, and then I take it all the heat. And I literally had I had no problem whatsoever saying, here, I think my co-host should choose that.
Yeah, you passed that ball really hard.
Good. Yeah.
I'm glad we had both of them on. They're so fun, and it's cool that we didn't even talk about this when we had them on. I should have, but Delilah and Ella have so much history as friends and as training partners and athletes. So it was cool that we got to have both of them on at the same time.
Yeah, well, Delilah just popped in the comments there. Said that's my best friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Fun.
that's so cool. That's that's what wrestling's all about. Is just building those kind of relationships.
Yeah.
Especially girls that train together and compete together, and guys that do the same. It's really what the sport's about at the end of the day. So
It's true. I think every person, whenever you ask them, what's the one thing you've loved most about wrestling, like after we're done and over, and it's always, man, the people that it brought to me. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
my answer, at least.
I hear you. No, it's trust me. I mean, I've been obviously in the sport long. 45 years, 45 plus. Started when I was 5, and I
Yeah.
still remember some of the old practice partners I had when I was like 7.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just once you do it, once you get involved in it, it's just it's awesome. So love it.
All right.
But let's so now, I mean, we just had a comment there. I don't know who the trusty notary is, but so what's the future of building women's wrestling in Tennessee?
That's
I
Junior.
like reading some of these comments. We can talk about that real quick before we go into the guy side.
Yeah.
The future of building women's wrestling in Tennessee. I mean, shoot. I mean, whatever they. I mean, shoot. I think we're building it right now. And I say we. I think one of our guests here needs. Hold on.
Yeah. Soon.
Yeah.
Soon
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't have the link, but I think we've been doing a lot of good things at our state. Our membership's going up. I think we did the Who's Number One this year. And any ideas, honestly, here's the one thing from the girls' side that, we've always had from a state leadership perspective, we've always had, people ask, well, what about the girls? What about the girls? What about the girls? We just never had, the volunteers on that side to really, move forward.
It takes manpower, truly.
It takes a ton of manpower, and a lot of people don't understand how much manpower it takes to run, certain events and to do certain things. And really, I mean, the future for building Tennessee women's wrestling is building our volunteer base. I mean, everybody on, let's just call it the guy side, if you want to call it the guy side, but they're really, Tennessee USA wrestling and as a whole takes an extraordinary amount of manpower, to run the organization, and they're all volunteers. Nobody's getting paid for any of this stuff. So to answer the question, being somewhat long-winded, we need volunteers, we need people to help. Whoever the trustee notary is, we would love to have you on board with our maybe I recruit
so
a
the
member.
trustee notary is either Junior or his wife.
Okay, there we go. Well, in that case, shoot, love it. No,
Yeah.
I talked to Junior about helping out and on multiple occasions, and he's obviously very open to doing so. And I think we just moving forward, we just consistently continue to build our volunteer arsenal on that side of our organization, and things are, we're in a good space right now. We need to get, it's Junior. Okay. Yeah. Junior, whatever, man, listen, whatever you want, brother. Come on. Whatever you want to volunteer for.
I'll also say it's things like this though that you're doing, Hatch. Like the fact that it was your initiative to have the women's and girls side of wrestling like represented on this podcast, and as our girls go and they represent at these national tournaments, and they're gonna create their own fan base and popularity, and people are gonna be just as interested. Like we don't have what the guys wrestling side has, where my dad and my granddad and my uncle and all my brothers, they all wrestled. Like we've got this family of wrestlers, and they're always coming back and wanting to help and volunteer for events and coach. And so we're like just now starting to build that. But the more these girls are kicking butt the way that they're doing, like who's not going to want to be a part, if you ask me. So
yeah, and that's and the thing is too, it's like I mean, the girls sport is so new, like at this level. I mean, it's I mean, if you really could if you compare it to to men's wrestling. Remember, men's wrestling has been around since Jakob wrestled the Angel, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where it's when it's women's only, it's only been, we're still in the infancy stages. Who knows where it's going to go. So it's one of those things where we're always looking to get new people involved, more girls involved, more volunteers involved, everything. And when people, I think one of the things with the guys and the girls, especially when I first took over the state chairmanship again here in Tennessee, and people thought that there was like the guy's side was actually against the girl side and not wanting to develop the girl side. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, we got a quarter of our board members that were on the board at a certain time. They had daughters that wrestled in the, I mean, so it's not like, but it's just, it's one thing to have people say, you know, we should do that. They should have this. They should have that. But it's another thing to have people actually step up and help out the organization and not get paid, have the volunteer time, have to volunteer this and stuff like that. So really, like I said, again, long story short, you know, we just got to continue to build our volunteer base and, you know, to let everybody know that this is a very, very important, I mean, the girl side is a very, very important part of our organization. And yeah, we support it in any way we possibly can. You know, that makes sense. It has to make sense. So again, one of those things that you got to understand, it's still very, very new. You're looking at our membership alone. I mean, the girls make up about 12 to 13% of our overall membership. And that's just the facts, you know, so it can't be a 50-50 thing. That's just not fair. But it has to be, you know, in a good enough ratio to where we actually over support when it comes to percentages from our board of directors. So I think we do a great job already of supporting that, of supporting the, you know, the girl side and developing it. And we just got to continue to get people involved. We got great people involved right now and just got to continue to get more. It's the way it is.
Yeah, it's definitely visible from the outsider perspective that it's become a priority in the state. So
yeah,
I'm grateful from here. It's just time, and we keep doing what we're doing, I think.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep doing it. That's for sure. I mean, it's like I said, man, we're excited. We love the product that we're pumping out right now, man. These girls are savages. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I almost certainly wouldn't be wrestling no 15 hours and no 98. That's for sure. That ain't happening. Not for me. I'm way too bougie, but way too bougie for that these days. Can you?
Yeah.
Ain't
happening. I gotta fly to catch
out. So, but we had another big tournament going on last weekend. Fall Grappler. Grappler Fall Classic, the official name and title, but that's up in Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Great tournament. I mean, from what I understand, I've never actually been to that tournament, but they have an elite boys division, high school division, and then they have a varsity division, which obviously the elite one is more, I guess, the national caliber kids. The varsity one is, you know, I guess you would call it second tier, I guess, but still it's a very, very good competition. Whenever you go wrestling up in those type of Midwest states up in, you know, Michigan, and you're going to draw, you know, some good kids from out east. I took a look at who was there. I mean, there was a lot of Florida representation. There was actually some California representation too. Tennessee had a very, very strong contingent that was there. And then they also have a middle school division and a kids division too. So it's a really unique tournament. Great tournament. I know, like I said, I've got some good friends that take their teams up there and they love that tournament. So, and Tennessee did really well. Just some results. I'm going to go down the results that we had, you know, throughout the tournament, just looking at the brackets. And I probably forgot some people. I maybe left some out because they had a different club name or they didn't have a club name, but the ones that, you know, I think I got the majority of them. But in our fourth grade and under at 65 pounds, we had Case and Cargo from the Minion Training Center got second. Sixth grade, in the sixth grade division, elite sixth grade division, we had Case and Cargo competed in that one as well. Got third place at 65, and then Rockland Krasinski from Wave Wrestling Club got sixth at 85. Then the middle school at 75 pounds, we had Bruce Fowler from the Wave Wrestling Club, which is out in Memphis. Shout out to my boy Derek Harrison and Garrett House. Whoop whoop, Brian Balke, all those guys out there. Yep, I'm not leaving you guys out. Second place to Mr. Fowler, middle school 75. Middle school 120, we had Grady Phelps from Ground Zero. Ground Zero, they're doing a great job there. Randall Jennings has building a really good club there in Middle Tennessee, but his 120 got fourth place in middle school. At 170, we actually had two place winners. We had my boy Braxton Pulley, Springfield kid / Young Guns. He got second, lost in the finals, got second place. And then John Bromlett from the Wave got fourth. Moving on to high school division, the varsity, high school varsity division, Wave Wrestling Club really had a lot of representation there in this particular division. Hunter Heflin at 135, he got sixth place. Mason Butler, who's Christian Brothers kid, Wave Wrestling Club kid, he ended up winning the 145-pound bracket. Finley Smout from Wave also got sixth at 155. My boy Drake Bowers, he got third place at 167. Shout out to him. Great job. And 200 varsity, second place was Ashton Boswell, also from the Wave. And we had a great representation in the elite division. And I'm looking through the elite division, man, they had some absolute hammers in these divisions. So, I mean, just getting in here and getting some place winning out of these particular weight classes, man, we had a really good showing, and it came from a couple different clubs we have in the area, in the state. But At 112, we had a champ at 112, JoJo Uhorchuk from the Minion Training Center, who we'll be speaking to here in a little bit. Can't wait to talk to that young man. But yeah, he won at 2 champs we had from Tennessee in the elite division. At 119, our other guest, Mason Jakob, who's had a great offseason, great preseason so far, got 3rd at 119. And then his teammate from Tennessee Wrestling Academy out east, Carson DePill, got 5th. At 125, JoJo's brother Ethan got a 5th place finish for Minions. Great performance from him as well. At 130, Spencer Reap from the TNWA also got 8th. At 135, we actually had a 3rd place match between 2 Tennessee kids. Matt Hart from the Baylor Wrestling Club, who he's a new move in from Ohio, but he beat 2-time state champ from Father Ryan, Case and Roark in the 3rd place match, which is really interesting at 135, because who knows, that could be a little bit of preview for what we have coming on this upcoming season, maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah.
Never know. So, but yeah, that'd be a super exciting little rivalry coming up, because obviously, Baylor and Father Ryan will probably meet sometime in the preseason, or the postseason, I should say.
Yeah.
140, Nate Askew, Baylor stud, got 3rd place at 140. Great job there. Hunter Sturgill, who you're very, very familiar with there. Kenya, yep, got a 4th place finish at 152. Great job to Hunter. And our boy Max Norman, who was on here last weekend. Remember how he was talking about how he couldn't wait to wrestle in this because he was waiting to show these college coaches that he underperformed. Elite 8. Well, he most certainly underperformed. He ended up winning the 160-pound elite division. So shout out to Max. Sorry, Max, we are not going to have you on the podcast 2 weeks in a row.
he was glad to come on a second week.
I was really actually shocked that Max didn't text me and ask me if he was going to be on again. But yeah, he got kind of figured he's making way for Mason. And and then at 185 we had Seton Talent, who's also from the TNWA. He got 4th at 285. So, man, again,
a big crew that we sent out also.
Yeah.
Explain. This might be my own ignorance, but explain to me what's the difference in qualification for the varsity and the elite.
It's basically a preference, whatever they want to enter. If they want to enter the national one's going to have, like I said, when we talk to JoJo and Mason, they're going to drop some names that people are very, very familiar with on the national level. So it's really it's whatever one you want to. There's no qualification to it. It's just how
if you want to,
what you want. How much you want to bite off. So that's kind of how it works. So, but yeah, I love tournaments like that because, like I said, it gives a little bit for everybody. So it's good stuff. But enough of my talking. Nothing here. Me. I mean, I guess the only reason I had to hear so much of me is because we had such a long list of Tennessee kids doing well. Hey,
it's no problem.
Love it. Yeah, hopefully we can stretch this thing to an hour and a half next time, maybe, huh? But
keep going with the results.
Got all kinds of girls' results, shoot. But let's let our first guest in here. I know this guy, JoJo Uhorchuk. How are we?
I'm good. How are you?
This is my co-host, JoJo. I know you.
Hi, JoJo.
I don't. Listen, man. I don't even need barely say hi to you. I know the Uhorchuks forever, but Miss Kenya Sloan. Yeah. She's got a new, I guess, almost tagline.
Like a tagline for you guys.
Is it like a tagline? She wants a T-shirt made because Coach Harrison.
Yeah, we need to have.
He's giving a little review or the preview on the Who's Number One, and he said, Kenya.
It's hard to bet against Uhorchuk. So yeah, and I know about your name now. So
yeah. So, how we doing? You for those of you who don't know JoJo Uhorchuk, you probably haven't been paying attention to Tennessee wrestling very long because Uhorchuks have been around forever. But he's a 2023 state champ last year. Also, he had a big 2023 year. I asked JoJo for his list of accomplishments, and I said, "Man, just come on, just give me a couple of them, dude. I mean, don't be going back all the way back to this podcast only lasts a little over an hour, so let's take it back. So, but no, big year for him last year. State champ, NHSCA champ, Fargo freestyle, 3rd place, which is
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Grappler champ, currently ranked number 14th in the country. My man. And I know my boy, John Mark Bentley, is going to be, I'm going to send him this link, this podcast, and I'm going to forward it to minute 50 and see what shirt JoJo has on.
As I state.
Uh-huh. Oh boy. You know what? My company made those, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been doing this camp gear for every summer for about the last 12 years, 14 years. Yeah. So yeah.
You know, Cody went to App, so
I know. You got Cody talking into repping that?
Yeah, he gave it to me actually. So
yeah.
Gotta rep it. Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it. Well, my man, tell us about the weekend, dude. I'm gonna pull up your bracket right now. I have it up here. And it wasn't easy at all, was it?
No, sir. No,
you were seated second right off the shoot, though. But still, I mean, I'm looking at some of these guys, man, and you had to go at it last weekend. Give us a little rundown on what happened last weekend.
Yeah. So I think I had 6 matches. If I'm right. I didn't know the first couple kids. The first kid that I think I kind of heard of is the kid I wrestled in the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out, and one thing me and Sean and Cody have been talking about a lot at Minion Training Center is like just kind of keep attacking and keep getting into my ties and like my rushing. So I just kept getting to my rushing and kept forcing my shots in my position. And so I think I caught him on his back early in the first period, and I was just able to, keep him on his back there. And then in the semis, I wrestled this kid named Aiden Dodd, and I've never heard of him, but I mean, I looked him up and he was ranked 10. So I was nervous about that match. Not going to lie. I mean, I got my nerves going. So I just came out there, did the same exact thing. And he kind of forced himself into a bad shot, and I caught him on his back early too. So I was feeling good. I was having a good tournament. And then me and Sean talked about this today, actually. In the finals, I think I wrestled a little timid, and I wasn't getting to my ties and stuff. So I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. I came out with a W. Obviously, that kid's really good. And
yeah, that Burnett kid from Ohio is really good.
Yes, sir. It's always good to beat an Ohio kid or somebody up north, So that always feels good, especially being from Tennessee when we're kind of looked down on or something.
Yeah, it's always kind of got to be. I mean, because just so you know, Kenya. I mean, I'm looking at the and we're talking about the Grappler Fall Classic here, so we're not. I mean, these aren't chumps by all means, but so we got Uhorchuk Fall 3 minutes, Uhorchuk Fall minute and a half, Uhorchuk Fall 3, Uhorchuk Fall 59 seconds, Uhorchuk Fall 42 seconds. That's what we're dealing with here.
I was noticing it.
That's what we're dealing with here.
He was being humble, but he was like kind of on his back, kept it
Yeah. Yeah, that's
no big deal.
Right there. They're pretty humble kids. They're great kids. But then, obviously, looked like a pretty tight match there with Burnett in the finals, and like I said, I mean, he's definitely no joke. But man, I tell you what, I mean, we're talking, like I said, JoJo, when he gets to his stuff and when he's on, man, he's as good as it gets. There's no question, without question there. So, but yeah, be pretty happy with your performance overall, though, huh?
Yes, sir. I think I got a few things to fix before Super 32, but that's my next big one. So I'm real focused on that right now. Hopefully, I come back with the belt. So,
yeah, for sure. Now, what weight are you going there?
I'm gonna go 13.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think 12 was about my max there. I didn't have like too much trouble making weight, but it wasn't fun by any means. So I think that's close I'm gonna go.
Right. I mean, you got to be pretty happy going into like when you come into these, I guess, preseason, because obviously, and you're great in all positions, but the top position, I mean, the Uhorchuk boys are as good as it gets when they come on, when it's on top, when they're on top. I mean, Kenya, it's a long night for whoever's on the bottom. Are you happy to get back into the folk style grind here?
You might be surprised to say this, but I mean, I am, but I actually like freestyle a lot.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think because we trained it all summer, I was kind of liking it. The only thing is, like, I think my best position is top, so it is nice to get back on and work my stuff. And I know that people will have trouble with my length, and I can really enforce that on top. So I am glad that it's back folk style. But I mean, I kind of miss freestyle already, Coach Asher. I'm ready to go back, man.
JoJo, listen, That's it. It's a wrap. That's it. We're done for the night. No, I won't do that to my boys,
That would
Mason and
be
Jacob. No way. But I tell you what, I've been trying to get the Uhorchuk boys to wrestle, just at least freestyle. Just wrestle freestyle. I mean, Greco, I get it. That's a whole different sport. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that's awesome to hear. It's awesome to hear.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean,
I feel like that's everyone's story. Like we grew up wrestling folk style from the time we're like little bitty, and then all of a sudden someone's like, "Hey, try this," and you're like, "Why would I do that? I'm already good at this." But then after you get your toes in the water, it's hard to go back. And that was my experience, at least.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Super 32 coming up, right, JoJo?
Yes, sir. Yes, 32. Sir.
Yeah, you guys are probably training pretty hard there. Coach Russell get you cranked up right now?
Yes, sir. We're going pretty hard right now. He has this I don't want to give any away of our secrets, but he has this thing that he's making us do right now where we got Devin Skatsky.
Yeah.
So he
the new UTC coach, right?
Yes, sir. And he was training with Yanni, or in the room with Yanni, and he was telling Sean, and Sean told us this. Obviously, he said that Yanni just shoots in the practice room. Like he doesn't care about if he wins or loses. He just like shoots and creates positions and like kind of puts his pride aside for the night. And so we've been trying to do that. And so, I mean, it gets you'd be surprised how tired you get just after one go, and let alone like 5 or 6 2-minute goes where you're just shooting and creating scrambles and getting in position. So that's what we're doing right now. And that really takes practice to another level. And also I can feel like this weekend, I feel like my conditioning was a lot better. Or I felt, I mean, like in the Burnett match, I feel like going to the third period and I wasn't really even breathing hard. I felt like I was good and I still had enough to finish out the match.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Love it. Yeah, that's like some old school Coach Gable stuff there.
Yeah.
That dude back in the early 90s thought we should be shooting every like 6 seconds. I'm like, man, I don't know. First of all, my shots aren't very good. I'm not very good at shooting. So how am I going to do this? That's awesome. Well, like I said, man, I can't wait to see, kind of what transpires, with you and your Super 32s and just, man, like I said, I think the world of Uhorchuk family. I mean, I've known them for long, long time since they've been tiny kids, and just we got two of them at West Point right now. I know Ethan put the baseball bat down and he's full go, and Coach JoJo, we got 2 of them. It's gonna be really interesting to see where they end up, and the sky's the limit for these guys. The sky's the limit for them. So yeah, have you got anything else for us, JoJo?
No, sir, man. That's it.
Well, Kenya's got a quick off-the-wall question for you. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I do. I thought of this one just as you were speaking, actually, because you were talking about your weight cut. What is your go-to meal after you've made a hard weight cut and after you've wrestled in the tournament? So we don't have to worry about energy and sugar. Just what have you been craving for the past week?
Okay, so right fans, I got a tradition. I always go to Olive Garden as long as like I don't have to a couple hours. Like if it's a day before. Always go Olive Garden, and I always get the same exact order. I always get rigatoni noodles, and chicken Alfredo, and then I always get if I don't have to like really worry about what I'm putting into my body. So like after the tournament, if we end up at Olive Garden, I'll get those Italian donuts.
There it is.
Donuts. You can't beat those Italian donuts.
And I would say like right after a tournament, usually I'll get Starbucks. Starbucks, it's kind of my girly side. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you probably, what do you get? Like some kind of foofy coffee or something?
Yeah. A Frappuccino.
I think I would have like an accident in my pants if I had a Frappuccino before a wrestling tournament. That might be too much for our viewers. Sorry, I'm showing my colors, but that's awesome. You could take it.
That's awesome.
All right.
JoJo, man, we really appreciate your time, man. Like I said, we're so proud of you. I mean, you're awesome. And like I said, say hi to your family for me. Amazing family. And like I said, really looking forward to, seeing how you do here in a couple of weeks. And are you going to be at Cleveland this weekend for that club fest?
No, sir. Our fall breaks this weekend. So we're going to visit Daniel and Caleb, and then a couple of visits. So
love it. Tell those guys I said hello. Yeah,
we'll do. Sure.
Yeah. Tell them I said hello. All right, my man. We really appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Later. Man, those Uhorchuk kids, I tell you what, man, amazing. Great kids. It just like, I mean, we got I mean, all of our Tennessee kids are awesome, but great parents too. I mean, I've really, man, Shannon and Rob, his parents are just. You got 4 boys wrestling.
I thought there was only 2.
That's just,
They're
you got to
both
be,
about
you got
4.
to be a little patience there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure that they've replaced more than one lamp and more than one table and more than one whatever. I mean, it's probably, I mean, they probably got drywall person, on speed dial. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they got all 4 of them alive and well into adulthood. So
absolutely,
they're winning.
That's great. Well, we got one more. I tell you, I just noticed. I guess I haven't really looked at. Man, my eyes are like really swollen. It's really bad. I mean, the pollen is really bad right now.
Your eyes are swollen.
Yeah, I get really bad allergies. But you know what? Here's the deal. I'm sucking it up. I told one of my kids last couple weeks ago. I was giving him a private lesson. He was allergies, and that was. I said, dude, come on, man. I've had allergies for 40 years.
Yeah, I hope he's watching so he can.
I hope he is. Yeah. Now he's gonna be watching. He's gonna give me a hard time. Why are you complaining about the allergies, Coach? On the podcast? All right. Well, here we go. We got one more guest. I mean, I was pumped to see him do so well last week. This kid, he's awesome. You're gonna get a kick out of this guy. So I'm gonna let him on right now. Come on, I ain't waiting. My man.
What's going on? Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
look at this guy, Mason.
What's going on, Coach?
Kenya? You know my co-host, Kenya?
I
Mason.
don't. I believe
No.
this is the first time we've met.
First time.
We know each other now.
The first time meeting my.
Yep, nice to meet you.
Much cooler, much more accomplished in co-host, Kenya.
Yeah. He likes
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Much
you.
smarter, more accomplished, much cooler. Listen, I surround myself with good people. That's all I do. I just
Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
That's it. I get out of the way. Now you're on. I'm probably just going to check out right now, Mason. That's it. Yeah, I'll let you two just chop it up.
Hey, Mason.
All right. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce my guy right here, and just that way people, know who we're talking about. But everybody knows. I mean, Mason's been around the circle forever, man. Everybody knows this dude. I mean, because he's pretty social too. I mean, so that's
a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little social. He kind of knows people. So, but no, Beast of the East, All American. He's had a good last year. He had 2023, but state champ this year. NHSCA finalist, Southeast Regions folk style champ, freestyle finalist, and newly crowned Grappler Fall Classic All American, third place. You had a good little run here recently, and also
pretty decent.
Gave our last guest, JoJo Uhorchuk, everything he wanted in that Who's Number One. That was a great match.
Oh yeah, it's always a great match. We've wrestled a lot of times since we were like 9 years old.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize you guys wrestled that much.
Yeah, I always wrestled JoJo 1 year because they're always like in between, like before high school where they'd be like in the other divisions. I'd wrestle JoJo 1 year and then I'd wrestle Ethan the next year. And mine and JoJo's matches were always really close. And then every time I'd wrestle Ethan, it'd just be a bloodbath. It was always really bad.
I mean, it's crazy seeing the different styles of those guys because I could 100% see that. I can see it being like JoJo's very, very technical. He's very savvy. He's very
super funky. Super
funky. You have a great scrambler. Yeah. I mean, Daniel was very, very cerebral. Wasn't but I could see just an absolute, like you said, bloodbath with Ethan and Caleb.
Yeah,
Caleb too,
he was always the aggressive one.
Oh, Caleb's a mean little guy. It's so mean. What in the world? Why is he not a sweetheart like Daniel? Caleb, boy. Oh my goodness. Dang. Ethan too. He got a little bit. Yeah. It's crazy. Those 4 guys all got a little bit different style about them, but all great competitors. Well, enough about them, Mason. Let's talk about you, man. Dang. Nice performance last weekend, huh?
Yes, sir.
You actually, you got knocked in the backside by a pretty well-known name, Antonio Mills from Georgia.
Yeah,
man.
we've wrestled.
You guys wrestled a lot, right?
Yeah, we've wrestled probably like 6 times in the last 2-3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always pretty good matches too.
Oh yeah, always close ones.
Yeah, he's a real deal. I mean, he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, that just tells you that how big of a stud you are too, man.
There you go.
But
somewhat.
But then on the backside, though, I mean, it was you, and then Dupil made it in the backside with you too, huh?
Yeah, we were both on the opposite sides.
Yeah, saw that. Now you guys train a lot together.
We train here and there. So there's 2 10-mile clubs. There's one in Morristown and there's one in Kingsport. He usually goes to the Morristown one because that one's a little closer. But like there's a couple of days where like I'll go to Morristown or he'll come to Kingsport. So we roll around a few times.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take advantage of that when you can too.
Oh yeah,
national caliber wrestlers, in the same room. You gotta get in there and get some while you can.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the tournament. What was your perspective on it? How do you think you performed?
I mean, obviously, like I know there's always room for improvement, but I went in there, been working a lot with Zeke on the misdirections and going into tournaments, knowing you're a dog, you can go out there and win any of those matches. Not going out there being nervous and having that huge adrenaline dump.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, especially coming from you, because I know just watching you over the years, it's just that I think you don't give yourself enough credit on how good you are. You are. Because I'm just telling you. You're. Dude, I'm just telling you, you're good. Really, like really good, like this kind of good, and it's really good to see that coming through for me. And for those of you guys who don't know, the Zeke he's referring to, Zeke Moisey. He's one of the 10-mile coaches and obviously national finalist, back in the day, and just an outstanding coach. One of our best we have in the state, and not only up and coming, but just coaches in general. But he's 100% right. Just knowing that you have that in you, man, and once you start consistently getting that and putting that forward, I'm just telling you, right, your wrestling is going to go to another level. And man,
yes, sir.
Not good.
It definitely helps a lot.
Neighborhood after that, boy. Not good for everybody else. But making that adjustment. What other kind of adjustments have you made? Do you think that kind of helped you?
So a little bit with the legs. It was actually really funny because at the TNUSAW's #1, me and Noah, both of the 10-mile kids that were at the TNUSAW's #1, both hit a spladle. After the tournament, he was like, "You guys gotta stop hitting that. People are gonna start thinking I hit spladles all the time." And but like I got really high in that match, and I got reversed to my back and lost 2-1 against JoJo. So we went back, made a few adjustments in riding, and my legs got a little bit better. Still room for improvement, but
you still got time. You see, like I said, you're improving every day. And what's cool about this, Kenny, is when I texted Mason and JoJo about coming on the podcast, they both had the same response. Well, I get can we go at 7:30 or 8:30? We go at this one. I'm just getting out of practice, and that's that's I'm telling you, that's such a huge thing, because you just came straight from practice, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you popped on about 8:45. That deters so many kids, like from.
Oh yeah.
That's not for everyone, and
No.
we go through the same thing here with our Young Guns program, because, like I said, we have practice, especially like during the actual season, like during their high school season. I practice on Sundays, and then we have the high school practice is at 7:30 on a Wednesday night. Well, yeah, they go to their high school practice and then they go to the club practice. That's just that's what good kids do. Yeah. And so you get a kid like Mason, you get a kid like JoJo that are coming on, they want to be on the podcast, and it's 8:45 at night. Well, they're just getting out of practice. There's no secret to this. It's just not.
Yeah, it's definitely exhausting. It's a lot, but hey, it's what we do.
Yeah. That's what good kids do. And if you want to be good, then you better get on board.
Make the sacrifices.
If you don't want to be good, then if you want to just keep oohing and on over, over Mason Jakob and JoJo Uhorchuk on Instagram, then it's fine. Continue on with your regular scheduled practice schedule. But if you want to get the same level and level up these kids and do what they're doing and getting the accolades that they're getting and getting the traction they're getting, well, you know what? You might want to start doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it's not rocket science.
No.
But if you put in the hours, you get the results, huh?
That's it. You're talking to a national champ there, Mason. We ain't saying nothing. This girl that she doesn't already know. She's like, yeah, I know.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
I know. I used to walk out of practice at 9:00 at night too. It's not just you. It's not just Mason.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you're saying the right thing. There's going to be kids that come and look up to you, Mason, like as you continue to just elevate in your career. And they're probably going to ask you questions like, "Oh, how'd you become?" And it's there. It is. It's not. I try. I put the work in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was thinking.
Mason does. It's crazy because this is how. I don't. when I was out west, at Cal Poly, I didn't really know Mason. I only started getting to know Mason for the last couple of years. I started, being in charge of the national teams and getting back, being state chairman and stuff like that. And he's just got such a great personality. It's like I've known him for 15 years, but he'll just randomly text me out of the blue. Hey, what do I got to do for the junior duels deposit? He just out of the blue, I just go, oh, hey. So he's always texting randomly for something. So I love it. He's a mat rat. He loves wrestling. He's at everything.
Yeah.
And that's why he's having the success he's having, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I was, as you guys were speaking about it, I was just thinking whenever I was probably in high school, maybe I taken some ownership, but especially when I was young, I had the same routine. And I'm so grateful for my parents for putting up with me and pushing to do these things. I mean, are your parents a really big support to you in your career also?
Yeah, without my dad and my stepmom helping me out with all of this, it definitely it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's a crazy lifestyle, and it's awesome to have the right people behind you you can't do it by yourself. So
absolutely.
And plus, I mean, it's weird because the parents have to really understand, because it's not normal. What kids like Mason do and JoJo does, and these kids that come to practice after their other practice at 8 o'clock at night, they're getting done that. A lot of parents are like, that's crazy. That's a little excessive, right? No, it is, and that's the reason why. I mean, it is what it is. So so they've got to have that level of understanding as a parent is really, really super important. It's awesome. Yeah. So, what's next? What's next for you, Mason? I can almost probably guess, but go ahead and tell us. Where you going?
I think Super 32 right around the corner.
There we go. I love it. Love it. Love hearing it.
Yeah, it's I'm excited this year. I was 2 matches away from placing last year. Lost to some studs.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting on the podium this year. I think I've been putting in the work for it.
I think so. I wouldn't bet against you. No way. And then here it is. Might be a okay. So you've been on. So we this is our newly revamped podcast. Last year I just had. I just did it. Interviewed a bunch of kids. Blah 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 blah. Had Max on there a couple times. He's like a little pro. He loves it. And you two are like boys. 100%.
Yeah.
And so you guys are 1-1 right now. And Max could have been very easily on it because he won the tournament, but I wasn't going to go weeks in a row. So now it might be a race to see who gets on next in the new podcast between you and Max.
I might have a competition with him. I might have to.
You're egging something on right now.
Yeah. Because I know he's gonna be asking. He likes it. But no, I mean it's awesome having Mason on, and I love seeing the fruits of your labor coming about right now, Mason. Because he puts the time in from a training perspective consistently. Competition, like you said, is at everything. He wants to wrestle in everything, and we just love seeing your face at all these different things, Mason, and love to see you, all the great stuff that's happening to you, my man.
Yes, sir.
Love seeing that little stash you got going there too.
I've been telling people have been telling me to shave it. I kind of want to keep it though.
No, keep
it. You can grow that
just
podcast for you.
He's not a boy anymore. He's a man.
There you go. Kenya, you got a question for this young man?
I do. My first question. I've been holding on to it so long. You said whenever you went into this tournament, you were trying to focus on having that dog mentality. I'm wondering if it's dog DOG or DAWG.
DAWG.
That's
what it's got to be that one. It's got to be.
Got to be that. There's a difference. There's a solid.
There's a huge difference. For
Is
sure.
there? Okay,
oh,
so
yeah.
this is like an age thing now. I'm like,
this is an age thing.
I'm
you gotta get with the
you
hip.
two combined are not in my age. So explain the difference between, because I would have said DOWG because that was Snoop Dogg. That was my era. He's the one that.
Okay.
So now there must be there must be a changing of the guard or whatever with all this. Okay, so what's the WG one? What's up?
Go ahead.
So the DOG is kind of like a little puppy. Is what I'm thinking is what it is. When you DAWG, that's a dog right there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like a French bulldog and like an American.
Yeah.
All right. See, you learn something every day. I see again. That's why I bring better people around me and everything I do. You wouldn't understand. I mean, I don't think either one of you understand how much smarter I feel now. So.
Oh my goodness. Smarter or younger?
Yeah. Listen, I can only get so young. It's like I can't pretend. It is what it is. So.
Yeah. Just gotta learn the new slang.
At least I got to be familiar with it. I can't be using those type of phrases. I'm 50. I'm going to be 51 years old this month. I mean, I can't be now.
You can do it.
Yeah, some things you can pull off, some things you can't. So, but Mason, anything else for us and the viewers?
No, I think that about wraps it up.
That wraps it up. Did you have fun? First podcast?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous at first.
Nah, man.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Shoot, man. You'd be great at this, man. This is Mr. Personality right here, Kenya.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man, everybody loves Mason.
Yeah. See, I feel bad at making these age jokes. Maybe I'm taking it too far. I was about to say, so whenever you two do this, Mason's gonna.
I think you can pick it up, man. When you can get the new slang, I think you can learn it.
Think I can learn it? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make little notes of these. I got to make notes of this stuff. All right, my man Mason. If I don't see, are you going to be at that thing at Cleveland this weekend?
I might be.
Okay,
I think so.
All right. If I don't see you there, then I will see you at, I'm sure, another big tournament somewhere. Or
somewhere eventually.
See you somewhere sometime.
Yep, I can't wait either. It's great seeing you, buddy. We appreciate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
All right, Mason. Nice to meet you.
See you guys. Nice meeting you.
All right, later. And
you picked some good ones.
I know. Well, I mean, shoot, you did too.
They're fun.
This is awesome, man. We get to interview. I'm sorry, not sorry to the viewers. But we usually try to keep it under an hour, but we got way too many cool kids in the state. Come on. You know?
Makes it hard.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. It's hard. You got good kids like that on here. You want to listen to what they're about. You want to, kind of, get to know them a little bit, and it's awesome. A little bit, and
it's fun to get to know these guys outside of just their sport too, and guys and girls.
Absolutely. Coaches, you aren't safe either. We're going to be starting to get some coaches on here too. Coach, so just a shout out to any coaches out there. You might be getting the text message here soon.
Yeah, we'll test your Gen Z slang.
That's it. Just a Gen Z slang. There we go. Well, Ken, you got anything else before we wrap it up, girl?
Nothing crazy. I guess it's pretty obvious what we're going to get to talk about next time. So I'm excited to see who we'll have.
Yeah,
we'll have on here.
Can't wait. Everything. So just so y'all know, I know that from a communications standpoint, I know our amazing communications director Henry Blue has blasted it out to everybody in Tennessee USA wrestling land that this is going to be a weekly thing, same time, same place, with me and Miss Kenya Sloan here, and we're excited about it. I am. I mean, I'm pumped. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
This hour goes. It flies by.
It really does. I'm not even gonna lie. I worry that we won't be able to fill the time sometimes, and then we just get to start chatting, and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna hurry.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Can't cut these kids off. It's all about the kids.
Too much fun.
All about the kids. So, all right, love it. We will see you next week, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, and good stuff. Kenya, later.
Bye.